you shouldn't engage in gossip and sharing all of your personal business and their business and everybody else's business, because sooner or later it's going to end up into a mess and a problem. So, with that being said, let's talk about when employees get into gossip. They get
Mm.
into disparaging of the company or other employees. Anybody have any feedback on that or feelings toward that?
Yeah, so I feel the same way that you feel, Miss Val, because I feel like if they're talking about someone else to you, they're talking about you to someone else. That's
Yeah.
gonna happen. So you have to be guarded. And one of my personal I guess mantras, manifestos, if we break bread together, I'm not going to talk about you, and I'm not going to let anybody around me. I will dismiss myself from the conversation or be your advocate to say we're not going to do that here. That's just me personally, but because I don't want anyone to do that to me either. But I feel like if you observe someone always coming to you with the tea, they probably doing the same thing to you to someone else, and so that's a red flag. So I wouldn't even engage in it because
Most of the time, when someone is bringing you something and it's not something that is detrimental to you in that moment, it is gossip and
yeah.
it is harmful to you because you really have to set that boundary. I'm not here for that. Um, Dr. Pinkston, I mean, you have been on this professional career path for a long time. I don't mean,
Yeah,
we're not talking age,
couple of
for a
decades.
while.
Yeah.
Yeah, for a while.
Yeah.
With that being said, you've seen all kinds. You've seen professionals and you've seen, you know,
Yeah.
non-professionals. Have you experienced that with
Oh
people
gosh,
bringing?
absolutely.
And how do you deal with it? And what advice would you give to an employee when they are faced with it?
That is something that as I've gotten older and wiser, I tend to deal with very differently. In the beginning, I always felt like I needed to be friends with my staff and let my partner be kind of the bad guy and I was the good guy, and just kind of like mom dad type of thing. And then I started to figure out that people will use that against you,
Mhm.
your kindness and when you get to a point where you've been rubbed the wrong way a couple of times, it's when you finally begin to develop some boundaries. And so my advice is to develop those boundaries at the onset. Don't
Mhm.
get over friendly.
Mhm.
It's really, you spend so much time at work and so much time away from home, and away from your family and friends. You kind of want to develop an atmosphere with yourself of a place you want to be with people you want to be with.
Right.
Fortunately, not everybody is capable of that kind of a relationship. And the toxicity of it all will rub off so quickly and just expand. The drama in the room will just blow up so quickly. And you really have to learn how to develop those boundaries and make sure that you don't overshare and give people ammunition against you, because that's exactly what they'll do.
I think that is really good advice because I think, especially as employees, uh, young employees, and even some older employees that have probably engaged in that,
Yeah.
they're probably trying to figure out or have realized that it wasn't a good move, but now they're probably trying to figure out how to get out of it.
Mhm.
Right.
And I can give you any advice, just stop today.
Yeah.
Let today be your last day of engaging in that. You can start today setting boundaries and saying to individuals, please refrain from bringing that information to me. I really don't want to be a part of this because, one, I mean, I love my job, or I really want to make sure that there is a healthy environment around me.